Good afternoon, teachers, and I hope you had a good week. And let's just start with this topic that we have, and it's a very interesting and a unique topic, I should tell you, because this is something that is so much required, so much needed. It's there, but it's still not done the way it is expected to be. Let's just go through it, and we'll come to know what am I trying to tell you. Right. Now, today we are going to do is what you can see over here. We have something called the icebreakers. Like in the part one, the icebreakers, why I have highlighted it is because this is where I want you to take it as if how we are going to make it with make the children play. And these icebreakers are ideas for children, for you all, to how to do it in the classroom during the transition time, or when the new academic year starts, or when you want, okay, the children are little, they are little distracted and they are not paying attention. You can do these icebreakers. So I've put in around 3 or 4 icebreakers for all of you. So if your involvement is there, nothing like it, I will enjoy that. And then remaining things that we have is the importance and what all activities, and I have created a basic bank for all the activities that can be done in the classroom, keeping in mind that too much of preparations are not required. Because if you have taken the workshops that I did earlier, and now the new ones that we've started now, these, you'll see one thing in common, that my works, my ideas or activities, I try to give in as much as less burden to the teachers, and very low prep or no prep activities. In fact, you can just do it without any, just do it on the spot also. And also, the last is how to include the play. Now, before we go ahead, why don't we have a quick recap of what we did in the last session? So I know that I didn't bore my teachers and I didn't make them sleep during this 1 hour. So I want to know what we are going to do is, I will flash out the question which has options, and they are very easy questions, teachers. I want you all to quickly write the correct option in the chat box. Okay. And I don't want only 1 or 2 teachers participating. I want all of you. I don't want you to unmute and tell me the answer. I don't want you to be on, like turn on the camera and be there and show me. No, I just want your participation, which I can see through the chat box. All right. So, okay. And I will flash it out only for some time. And here we go. The very first one, which is, according to the brain research, the fastest brain development happens during which age? You have 4 options right in front of you. Teachers, you have only 5 seconds. Quickly. Yes, you're correct. Okay, I'm glad one of you heard me and remembers. Yes, yes, superb, superb. Not 6 to 12. It is 0 to 6, ma'am. Yeah, but yes. Yes, superb, superb. Yay, I'm happy to know that my teachers were awake. Okay, next question. Come on, let's go to the next question. Yeah. Uh, Brain connections become stronger when children. See the options, read it, and tell me the correct option. Come on. Yes, it's option 3. Yes, the correct answer. Come on, I want more options. Yes, more responses. Yes, 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 yes. Very good. Not option 1, ma'am. It is not only worksheets, but we need to make them experience through different activities. Yes, perfect. Now I'm going on to the next question. Come on, teachers. The next question. According to Jean Piaget, young children learn best through. Come on, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Come on. I think most of the options are going to be the same number. Let's see. Yes. Correct, 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 correct. Through doing and exploring, if they are given the opportunity to explore their surroundings, they are going to learn the best. Next one. Thank you, teachers. I'm really happy to see the response. The next one, this guy, Vygotsky, said children learn best when. Yeah, yes. It's option three. Come on, the next question. Thank you, teachers. Superb, superb. I'm glad that you all remember it, and I'm glad that this whatever interaction, the mute interaction is happening, and but I'm just happy. Okay, which activity supports cognitive development in preschoolers? Yes, it's puzzle and sorting games. Correct. Superb. We've got one intelligent batch over here, huh? Come on, the next one. Yes. Come on, teachers. The next question. Language development improves when teachers. Come on. Which option? Correct, correct. It's one. Yeah, so it is when we talk to them and there is a conversation happening to and fro, like a two-way conversation. It is not only that when the teacher is only going on or only when the child is going on. We want a conversation happening to and fro, and that is where the best language development happens. Next question. Emotional safety in classroom helps because why does it help? Why do we need emotional safety in the classroom? No, not because children become okay. I think you are giving for the answer for the earlier question. Yes, for this, the correct option is brain becomes ready to learn. As most of you have, all of you, in fact, have given the correct answer. The brain becomes ready to learn. So when they are emotionally they feel safe, they open up their avenues to learn. Okay, so this is what we want. Last, I think, few questions left. Movement activities like action songs, jumping help in. Same option, I guess. Yes. Same option. Option number, that is brain development and focus. When you involve them, when they are physically motivated, it really, charges up their brains. Okay. Which of the following is the best for brain development in preschool? Come on, this is overlapping with what? Yes, correct. It's option two again. Yes. I lost my creativity here for shuffling the uh, options. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, teachers. I am really glad for the involvement that I saw over here, and glad to know that, okay, I didn't bore you guys in the last session. Now let's start with the next one. We are going to start with icebreakers. Now, why are these icebreakers important? It's more like that corporate term, like we need to conduct some icebreaker activities or something. No, it is because that the moment you have that emotional safety, the moment that that wall is down, we are open to learning. So that is why we want these icebreakers. So basically, and here my agenda today for showing you icebreakers, these icebreakers are to show you that what is normal learning and what is playful learning, just showing the difference between the two, proving that how play helps, improves our memory and how. Okay, let's just start. Now, the very first icebreaker game that I have here is a memory tray game. So in this activity, we will show how brain learns better when the learning is become, it's more interesting and playful. All these icebreaker activities which I'm going to put forth, you can do those activities in the classroom. They are child appropriate. So that is why I've put it in such a way that the teachers, you get these good activities that can be done in the transition period, as I mentioned earlier. Now you will be having only 10 seconds. I will be showing you a list of images, and you are going to see those images exactly for 10 seconds. Okay, the time starts now. Sorry. Come on. 10 seconds has started, huh? Sorry, something. 1 minute, teachers. So sorry. Just a moment. I tried to put the timer here, but I think it's not working. Okay, you have 5 seconds now. Okay, now you will close your eyes and I quickly write down how many you remember in the chat box. All the names in one message only. In one message. Don't give me individual messages. I want only one message. Okay, of all the things. All right, very good. Thank you, Tanupriya ma'am. Come on, everybody. We have six, seven things that you remember. Anything else that you remember? Anybody else? Only she saw the thing? There were 9 things, but I want more. Yes. Okay. So on an average, what I saw is we remembered. Okay, teachers. Thank you. We'll be seeing it one more time. On an average, we remember, I think, at least 6 to 7 or 5 to 6. Now, if we do this activity with the children of wherein showing them the flashcards and then again, asking them about these topics, how about we do it like this? Okay, teachers. Now I want you to see this. We are going to make it little interesting. You need to read it like this. Sorry. Yeah. You need to read it like this. So we have the topics like this. Okay. Like you'll say pen is to write a story. Cup to drink tea. Book to read a story. A key to open the door. Bag to go to school. So now you will remember. Now read it and then again you will write it. But I want all 9 in that. Come on. Quickly write how many you remember. Come on. Very good, Kanika ma'am. Good effort. Go for it. To read or book to write a story. Read a story. Yes. Come on. Key to open the door. I remember that one. Yes. Spoon to eat an ice cream. Yes. See, what we did here was, to maybe made it little challenging. We made it little challenging for everybody over here, for the children. So now you can ask them, you can make them write it the way if they are grown up and open to writing it, because we've taken. Okay, I'm flashing the thing back again. I just want to say, share this thing with you. So now, okay, teachers, I got it. Yes, superb. Somebody wrote most of them. 1 minute, I missed the message. Who was that? Yes, Sravanti ma'am. And Sravanti ma'am. Superb. Yes. Table to sit in the class. Ma'am, where's the table? Okay, we can add that, but yeah. So now, come on, it is there on the screen. Now I want your attention back to me. Come on. Yes. Okay, the chat box can rest for some time now. So basically what we did was, first we showed only the flashcards and we told them to remember the words. Now we will show them, we will give the meaning also, like pen to write a story, cup to drink tea, and we will again do it. And trust me, the challenge number 2, which I put forward, like like bag to go to school, children will enjoy it more and remember it faster because we are giving a purpose to it. We are making it interesting for the children. Okay, like, see, why was the second time also easier? Because it will be easier for the children as well, because it had a meaning. They could imagine, okay, a cup, so we wanted to drink, because they feel connected to that object that we displayed. Because when learning has a meaning, the brain remembers better. So rather than just showing the flashcards, if we add a meaning to those flashcards, it makes them remember it better and faster. And when learning is fun, brain becomes active because they enjoy that learning process. And when we imagine, when we give them that idea to imagine that, okay, they will imagine, to think about the cup, they will imagine that they are holding the cup and drinking something. So this is what the brain is making connections. And this is how the children learn. And this is what we want to achieve. We want to aim at when it comes to teaching them. Now, this is the second icebreaker. Now, for this, if you all can get up and do it on camera is okay, off camera is okay. There is no restriction, but I want you to do it. I will say the action and you do it. If you all are going to do it on camera, I would like to see the teachers doing it. If not, then also it's okay, but I want your attention to this. All right, I'm just keeping this here so I can see. Okay, first is clap 2 times. And imagine we are doing this with the children in the classroom. We are making them do. So tap head. Yes, I heard the claps. Tap your head. Snap fingers. Stand up. Turn around. Then sit down. Okay. Now we are going to do this faster, and we are going to do it the entire thing 2 times. I'm going to say it. Do it with me fast. Okay, quickly. Clap 2 times. Tap your head. Fast, fast, fast. Tap your fingers. Stand up. Turn around. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Clap your hands 2 times. Tap your head. Snap your fingers. Stand up, stand up. Turn around. And sit down. Okay, by sit down, I heard somebody snapping the fingers also. Okay, so what did we do? So as teachers, as adults, we had a good time doing this. Okay, so imagine what will the children do. So you can change it, you can modify it age appropriately. Like you can do only 2-3 actions initially if they are young. You can do 3-4 actions. I've just put in some more options for you all so that you can interchange and do the actions. You can jot the actions down. It is fun because remember, this activity, this particular icebreaker always works. By the time, I think for senior KG, what in the end we used to do was stand on one foot. So that balancing, and then come on, tap your toes, and different things. But we were complicating the tasks a little bit, but it's fun. So here, what you all also did was, did you paid attention to the instructions that I was giving you? Clap your hands 2 times. I could hear the clapping of hands twice only. So you were listening to the instructions and following it, which is what we want the children also to do. When they are paying attention, when they are focused, they'll be doing it. When we unmute, yeah. When we play, the brain becomes active and the children also learn better the same way as you teachers were doing. And thank you, teachers, for doing it with me. It was fun to hear the snapping when I told you to sit down. So thank you. Okay, now the next one. What I want you all to do is, you have a piece of paper and a pen with you. I want you to draw a house within 10 seconds. All right, time starts now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, on your piece of paper, not on the screen. I want it on your piece of paper. Yeah, I want it to be done in, yes, thank you, ma'am. Jyoti Lakshmi ma'am, yes, I can see the house. Superb. Now, You all can see it on the screen. She's kept it, she's turned the camera on, she's showing it to us. Now, let's make it little different, okay? What I want you all to do. Now you make a house. I want you to draw a funny house, which has 3 windows and a triangular door. Come on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anybody, show me if you've made that house. Ma'am, put the camera a little down. We can see it then. We can't see the image. Okay, ma'am, I can see only half of the image. Yes. No, I want the door to be a triangle and I want 3 windows. It should look funny. Come on. Very good, ma'am. Come on, try. So what are we doing now? What the simple activity like drawing a house and changing and, twerking the idea of drawing a house and making it, like a funny house, like 3 windows and a triangular door, or you can come up with, no windows and a very tiny door, anything. If you do that, imagine how much fun it will be for the children also, because we are opening their doors to imagination. We are encouraging them. We are pushing them to imagine. And that's what we want. That's what we should work towards. They will feel involved. Their brain becomes more involved in it. Okay, yes, see, ma'am has made it, Jyoti Lakshmi ma'am. Superb, so cute. See, now this was a very different take on what we expected or what, you would imagine to do. But see, it's very cute. So thank you so much, ma'am. So this is how we can, when we do it with the classroom, just imagine you'll get amazing responses, you'll get amazing designs, and you'll also help them imagine. Okay. Now the second one, guess the object game. I'm giving very basic, simple riddles. It is for the children that I've thought about and I've put in. So you can also use those riddles in the classroom and guess the object game. Okay. I will describe something, you guess. For the first one, I've given the answer. You can see what kind of riddles I'll be giving. Okay. So it is round. Children play with it. It can bounce. So it's a ball. Okay. Now for the second one, I want your hands on the chat box. The chat box should be open and I want your answer. Okay. I will just wait for 2 minutes because I want to make it quick. Come on. Okay. It has many pages. We open it to see pictures. Teacher reads it from it. Fast. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Yes. We got it. Good job. Next one, teachers. Come on. Next is, here we go. We use it to build. We can make a tower or a house. Yes, I got the book answer. Now the next one, teachers. Thank you so much. Come on. Yes, children love playing with it. Blocks. Superb. So we can do these activities in the classroom. Next activity. Come on, our next riddle. Children use it in the class. It can be red, blue, or green. We use it to draw. What do you think it is? The next riddle is there on the screen. Yes, colors, crayons. Yes. Okay. So now, did you enjoy it as teachers also? Yeah, markers, crayons. Yes. Okay. Now back on the screen. Teachers, and whoever has unmuted themselves, please mute yourselves. See, we have a large audience and we don't want that to disrupt the disruptions. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So this was play, but we use thinking, language, imagination, everything in it, and they did it. So imagine it. Children will get so excited doing this. Okay. So all these icebreakers that we did is called as play-based learning. They learn it best when they think it is like a game, when they think that they are going to play something and they learn. And this is how we need to teach them in preschools. Now, what is the importance of play-based learning? Let's do that. Let's do some theory now. Since we did the icebreakers, let me just quickly rush past through the theory section. Okay. Now, what is play-based learning? It is basically where you involve the children when they are playing something, they are in, they are doing some activities, they are have doing some they are in, having some experiences instead of just, listening, or instead of just writing worksheets. This is where this is called play-based learning, because they are learning. In fact, whatever they do, even when or even when in school, even when they are just playing, they are learning something. They are learning something out of it. Okay. So, for example, when we have to teach them lump numbers, we can tell them, when they are counting blocks, or when they are doing sorting of colors, when we want them to learn colors, they are sorting. Okay, put all the red crayons here, put all the yellow, put all the green. Learning language, when you have a storytelling game, we used to have, I think we have a session on storytelling as well, but I'll just give you something which has always been a super hit thing in the classrooms when we used to do it. It is basically, storytelling is build a story together. So the teacher would come up with one sentence, and like, once upon a time there was a boy. So the other child is encouraged to do it, like that boy's name was Rihan. So the third one will say the boy was very naughty. Fourth one will say something, and we are doing that entire building of the story, and the children really enjoy it. And it is, they are learning a language, they are making sentences. Shape hunt, tell them to hunt, look out for shapes. Social skills, group games. So all these things that we need is what we can do it through play. Now, young children do not learn like older ones. Their brain needs to develop through all these things that I've listed on the screen, like touch ho gaya, talking, imagination, repetition. Why our planners that we have, why do we emphasize so much on repetition? Because if they do, if they take one particular topic, and if it's repetitive, imagine they are learning it so well, because they need repetition to learn. So many parts of the brain should work together when they play, and that is what we want them to do. Now, research in early childhood shows that play helps in brain development, language, social skills, creativity. Ab dekho to say list is a long list hai. So when children sit and write, only a small part of their brain is working. Only the little bit part of their brain is being developed. But when they play, their whole brain is active. And that's what we want. There are quite a few theories also based on this. One is by Froebel. He is known as the father of kindergarten. He believed that play is a natural way children learn. Children understand the world through play, because when a child grows, this is the first thing that they are exploring the world through play. Okay, when we introduce, why do preschools have so many songs? We have so many games. We do so many of music and movement with them, because we want them to explore it. We want them to enjoy it, think that they are playing, and in the process they are learning. Like building blocks. See now, for example, when they are building the blocks, they are thinking. When they are singing, the language is getting developed. When they play those circle games and everything, their social skills are getting developed. When they go outside in the nature, and you have that outdoor area, and they are exploring the nature, looking out for twigs, dry leaves, or anything, they are observing, they are classifying between the two types of leaf and telling us that this is the dry leaf. So that is what we want them to do. It is, kindergarten itself was started with play-based learning. That is basically the foundation of why we want. It is not a new idea. It is not something that has just been recognized. It was the foundation of it. So that's what we need to, push more ahead. Now, the next theory is by Howard Gardner. This is one of my favorite theories. It is mainly multiple intelligence. That is, the children learn, have different types of intelligence. So it is not only book intelligence. They may learn through different ways. Like, language hai, music, movement, art. You can see the list that have been put forth. And play is something that develops all of it. You don't have to do a particular activity for one particular thing. So children are different. Each and every child will not have one kind of an type of intelligence. Some may have language intelligence, some may learn more through music, some may learn more through art, some may learn more through movement. But you can't, as a teacher, you can't keep doing assigning different activities as per their learning type, intelligence type. You need to do is, this is where play comes in. It's like your weapon, like if you want things to be done, if all the different types of intelligence can work together, it is through play. So if it's music game, the musical intelligence, as you can just read through it. I will not repeat whatever is written on the screen. Okay, now what happens if we play less? Children are more likely to be, like bored. They will not pay attention. The whole class will be distracted. If one is distracted, the entire thing follows the same thing, like the whole class will be the whole routine of the class will go haywire. And what happens when there is too much of handwriting that is done in the preschool? This is something which, okay, there is writing needed. We need to help them. We need to help them focus. But too much of writing is what nowadays, the demand is for, is something which, like we should try and refrain ourselves from doing that, and making the parents as also understand. Because from class 1 till till they complete their education, all they have to do is write. This is the preschool is the year, preschool is the time where they can learn in various different ways. Why are we cutting that down? So, they will not have focus, they will not have interest, they will, they will not enjoy learning. We want that. We want them to enjoy learning. And happy brain learns better. My types of play that are needed, like physical play, pretend play ho gaya, construction hai, you can just read it. When all types of play happen, brain develops fully. Okay, on aap dekhoge, we'll see in overall in a preschool setup, all these types of play are done in one way or other, but they should be on the forefront, not like as an option, or not done just for the sake of doing it. Now, which type of play happens most in your class? Teachers, I wanted your input on this, but we'll come back to it in the end of the session. Let me just complete it in one flow so that we can enjoy it. I want to show the activities, and I'm really excited for that. In early childhood, play is not extra. Please remember this. We want them to play, and through play, they will think, they will talk, they will imagine, they will learn. This is why preschool should be more focused on play-based learning and not only restricted to writing. We can do that. That will happen once they enter the primary, and we have to emphasize more on this when they are in preschool. And you as teachers, you are the ones who have to inculcate this and make make it happen in the classroom. Now, for that, here I have an entire bank of activities. That is, I think there are around 15-20 activities. You can jot them down, or just, they are very easy. The name says it all, so you don't have to do much. Now, to understand these activities, I have listed down some simple, very basic activities, and these activities need very little material, but they really help they are very good when it comes to learning. Okay. Now, I have segregated these activities in different domains, like, language is there, social is there. So all these developmental things. So it is easy to segregate. Okay. Math and numeracy. Now, the very first activity is the action story game. You can see when the teacher tells a story with action, the rabbit jumped. So let the children do the actions. When you are saying it, the rabbit jumped, let the child jump. The bird flew. Let the children, do the action of flying. The boy ran. Let the children run in one place. So they are understanding, they are associating that word. They are learning new words, and they are understanding the meaning that run means you have to do this run. Fly means this is how we fly. This is how the birds fly. So they are learning. Their attention is being there. You know that they are listening to every word that you're saying because they want to do those actions. So Make them do this. This is action story game. Take any random book that you have and you can do a story. You can come up with your own story. If the time would have permitted, I would have done a story also with you. Next is finish the sentence game. So if the teacher starts, I see and let the child say anything they want, but one rule should be there, that they will not repeat the same thing. Like, for example, I see a big brown door. So the other child should not say the big brown door thing. They have to say something else. You can do this, daily once during the circle time. You can do this, this is giving them their confidence also. They are thinking, they are remembering, like, today I feel happy. And you can, some child will come up and say, today I'm angry. Today I feel sad. Today my mama didn't give me my favorite snack. Whatever they will say. But they will start sharing. They will start thinking. They will start comprehending what they feel and sharing it with us. Next is the third activity is the sound hunt. So say a sound, like for example, B. They have to look out for things around. They have to search and they have to quickly either find something that starts with B, or they can say the word also. Either ways, as per your thing, you can do either of those options. So if it is ball, they can go and search for it. Anything, whatever starts with letter B, that is the sound B. You can do the same thing with any alphabet, any letter, I mean, that you do. If you've done a letter in the classroom, you can do this activity. Talking circle. This can be done, when you want the children to settle down, to sit in a circle, pass a toy. Who gets the toy speaks. Like, the topic can be given to the children, or you can keep that topic, tell them beforehand only. I've given you a few options like my favorite food, friend, anything, and they will talk about it. So I've also put forward the learning that they will get from this particular activity. You can see it. Now we go to play activities for math or number concepts. First, the fifth one, like I've just continued the entire list of activities. Jump and count. So you will say how we did clap 2 times. So the same way you can do jump 5 times, then clap to 3 times. The children are learning also, and children are doing the movement also. So this is what we want, and they love all this. They love this game, like jump and count, any action and count. They will enjoy it. Number basket game. Put numbers in a basket. Child picks the number. If the number says 3, they have to go and pick up that many objects and show. So we are doing one-to-one correspondence. They know, okay, this is what it is. They are getting it. Their counting is happening. Everything is happening that way. Next is the bigger and the smaller game. We are going to show them 2 things and just ask, which is bigger, which is smaller. All the math concepts that you do, you can just do it randomly as a game kind of a thing. Pattern walk. Now make a pattern on the floor. Like, they have this game wherein, there are printouts of, I missed out on putting that up. Like printouts of, handprints and then footprint and everything. So if they keep doing it, I think there's somebody who's kept their thing on unmute. Can you please mute? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so make the pattern on the floor, and they can do it. Or you can simply, whenever you're doing a shape also, when you've introduced a shape, make that shape on the floor and let them walk on it, make a huge triangle with a masking tape and make them walk on it, and they will enjoy it. Now we have for concept learning, when they are learning a particular concept. So now if they've learned colors, find something red and let them search around in the classroom. And trust me, these are very basic, and you've seen most of till now. Hardly you need to prepare anything. You just need to remember that an activity like this exists and apply it in the classroom. That's it. Okay, so find something red and let the children search. So they are, sorting the colors. This is red, this is not red. Let me do this, let me do that. And that's what we want. Next is shape hunt. Same thing, find circle in the class. Look out for any rectangles in the class. Look out for this particular. So whatever you're teaching, whatever, you can apply it here. Next is hot and cold. So if you do, like for example, hide a object somewhere, like, you can take a cup of tea and you can take a water bottle or a can of anything, like in a cold drink or something, put it in different places in the classroom. So when you say hot, so they have to look around where is the cup. And the children who are near it will say near, the children who are far, it will say far, or and vice versa. So they are listening, they are thinking, where are they standing, what concept are they learning. So they are learning cold and hot and cold, far and near also. What's missing now? You will, the thing that you remember, the flashcards that I did before, in the beginning, the first thing in that, now show them, for example, show them 4 flashcards, then you will hide one, you will ask them which one is missing. So we want them to think, their memory is at works, that they are paying attention and everything. Now we have activities for social skills. For social skills, it is pass the smile. So if you smile, pass it to the next child. So this one will smile, third one will smile. So we are building that connection, when they are smiling at each other. This you can do in, and we'll get them back into the thing. Now the second is role play corner. Just set up some, once a week or anything. Just set up few items that are related to one particular profession, like be it a doctor, make it like a shop or anything, and let them enjoy that role play. Now for fine motor, play activities for fine motor skills. Clip on the card, like these pegs that we have, those small wooden pegs or the big cloth pegs that we have, the clips that we hang on the string, to put the clothes there. So those work wonders because they help in the fine motor skills like nothing else. Any other tools or any other specially designed toys for fine motor, trust me, this works the best. And you can do it, you can tell them to put a card, you can keep complicating, you can keep increasing the complexity of the task, like, okay, we learned letter A, find out letter A and put it on the string, we using the cloth peg, anything you can make them to just give them basic cloth pegs and tell them to do this also, that will also work. We have paper tearing. Now this is something very basic. You can take newspapers, you can take any papers that are waste papers, like, that are not going to be used again. Give it to them, tell them to tear it, and I want, like to tear it in a particular way, or you can make zigzag lines or straight lines and tear it, follow that straight line and make zigzag lines and tell them to tear it in a zigzag line kind of a thing, sleeping lines. They will learn. In play school, if you're giving them just paper tearing, the basic thing will only come into picture. By the end of play school, you can give them, standing lines and tell them to tear. In nursery, you can increase the complexity, but give it to them. What I used to do for paper tearing, after paper tearing, the same paper, we used to tell them to crumple it. Crumple the paper, what all you've torn, crumple it. And then pick it up, get up and go and put it in the bin. So this was like a task for them. Pehle crumple karo and put it in the bin. So the teacher doesn't have to pick up or anything, but it is all done. So the children are learning that as well. Now we have threading of beads work, strings or beads they diya, nothing, beads, and give them pasta shells, the penne pasta that comes. Put it in the wool string and let them, just do it. Just give them something that they have to bead through. Sand writing or suji ka atta, I think I mentioned it last class also. You can do that for them. Now this is for brain development activities. Okay. We have the memory chain. Here, this is super fun. Like if one child, I think I have played it when I was a child, and I love it when I play it with my children also. Like, if I'll say a book, so the other child will say book, reading. The third child will come up and say book, reading, banana. So book, reading, banana, minion. The fourth child will say that. So the cycle goes on. And it's fun. They have to remember it. They can do it. And it is a good thing. This is guess by touch. So basically a bag with objects. Keep the objects in it and let the child touch it, but they don't have to see it. They have to just guess what is it. So if you are introducing animals to them, let them guess it like this. Okay, this one has horns. This one has a long tail. It could be a cow. It could be this. Let them guess. Then we have the opposite game. So if the teacher says big, the child will say small. If the teacher says hot, the child has to say cold. You can make it as a rapid fire game also. Freeze game. Now dance, 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 suddenly stop. You have to stop in that position only. Like this was also a childhood game, like a statue game kind of a thing. Like move around and statue. And they all have to freeze. And in whatever this thing they have. And trust me, it is very difficult for them to freeze because they are it is fun to see them struggle in that way. So here all these activities, play activities, and each activity teaches something. And as I mentioned, and as I stood by my word, that these all activities the teachers you saw, we had 24 activities. The teachers, most of the activities, in fact all of the activities, are very low prep or no prep activities. Okay, so I want you all to try it. If you are doing it, very good. If you know it and you've forgotten about it, or you're not getting time, manage to squeeze it in. And if there's some activities which you really liked and would you like to try it in the classroom, please, please, please do it. It would be like, achieving, like for me, if you are doing it in the classroom, it's like I've got my Nobel Prize. Yeah. So it teaches everything. The play teaches all these things that we've done, and it is done. It's not wasting time. Remember, it's playing is teaching. Now, how to include the play in the daily teaching? Of course, teachers, for me also, if as a preschool teacher, even I would have thought, okay, yaar, anyways, we have so much to do with the children, and here you are adding one more thing into the thing. Easily, that's why I mentioned in the beginning also, try to do it during the transition when you're switching from one activity to another, so it will help. But this is from my end what I would like to share, that we can inculcate it in such a way and not make playing or including these activities a big task for the teachers. Start with small changes. Teachers often think, play-based learning means children will only learn, not study. No, we change the way we teach. You can do a concept while playing also. So start it. Instead of only notebook, we can add different things. Start with small changes. Like, rather than teaching, only numbers and showing them, do it with different games. Count objects kara do, colors ke liye hunt karao. Okay, I have a red color flashcard. Can you go and find something which is of this color, and ask each and every child. By the time the last child gets an object of red color, all the children in your classroom knows what color red is. Teach sound game, jo letters karwaye. So a small change, a big difference in learning. Use play in every subject. Matlab, when you're planning your day, when you're doing it, play should be the integral part. दूसरा उसमें हम concept कैसे डालेंगे, that is where it comes in. So if it's language, do it in a story form. If you're introducing letter A, do a story which has all the sounds, maximum number of sounds starting with letter A, and there are ample number of stories available. Do the talking game which I mentioned. Math है तो EVS में हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, art है, circle time, whichever way, but try to put it in every subject. So for the example is that instead of writing 1 to 10, why not they jump 10 times and count, then write? Or why not they do is, take a basket and put the beads or anything, and then write, count and write anything like 1 bead, 2 beads, 3 beads, 4 beads. Let them include something or other like this. Instead of writing colors, why not they find colors in the classroom? We can make it interesting. Use short play breaks. Like rule is that every 10-15 minutes, give them a break time. Give them a movement or a game. That's why I said transition. Transition ke time pe ke pata hai ki they are young children, that their attention span is not very long. You can do it like this, put in an action rhyme, put it a clap game, put some yoga stretching, animal pose bana do, walk, freeze game kar do. So all these are zero prep work activities. The movement now that it refreshes the brain for us also. Now, if I if I just from the beginning till the end of the workshop, if I keep on yapping and going on, I know half of my teachers will not listen. But here, because we included some icebreakers, I tried to give in some activities which were more practical. I am really hoping and I want that your attention is there with me. You are there with me. And that's what for adults also we need, that the children too will definitely need. So, active children, they learn better. As I mentioned earlier, use learning corners in the classroom. There should be a block corner, book corner. When you're doing an activity, you can divide the classroom. Okay, 5 children go in the book corner and read a book. The other 5 come and do the activity with me. Other 5 go there in that puzzle corner and do some puzzles and then circulate it. Then, so they are exploring. They are also waiting for their turns, and the classroom is functioning well. Teachers' role in play-based learning is very important. I just want you all to remember that play is learning. It is not waste of time or time pass. We are there to guide them, to make them observe, to ask them questions. We are not there to control them or just not there to just leave them completely. We are the guiding light that we want. We should encourage them, you teachers, that to guided play gives best learning. Yeah. So now here, can you add 2 play activities daily in your class? If yes, which ones? And if no, then why can't you add? Okay, have given you a long list of activities, teachers. Okay. So come on, give me just few. We are at the end of the session now. So I just want few activities in the class, which you will do. I've given 24 names. At least एक दो activity का नाम लिख दो. Okay, thank you. Brain activity, yes. Okay. Passing the ball and talking. Is it that one? Found the present, role play, language activities. Okay. Chalo, I'm glad that you all will be adding these activities into the class. Threading, yes. Beads should be there. वो है ना, it can be your thing. When the children come in the classroom, you can keep beads in the center and you can make them do, and then gradually they'll be just learning how to thread the beads. But over as the time passes, they'll be sorting it, they'll be sequencing the beads, one red, one yellow, one red, one yellow. They may come up with patterns also. So that will happen through consistency. And when you keep giving them at periodic times, don't give the beads every day, or don't give them any one particular activity, make them do it every day. You can make them do for a week any circle time activity, or make it a routine. But these like blocks, beads, puzzles, give it periodically, once in a week, that way. Okay. So here we've come to an end of our session. I have we are now open to any queries, anything that you have, and any feedback you would like to give us, anything, we are open to that. You can let me know. We'll keep the window open for some time now. And there are forms that the form has been put up on the in the chat box. Please, if you've not filled in the forms, please do fill it. Feedback forms are also there, right? So wherein we would want your feedbacks, any constructive feedback, anything would be great, so that you can put it up. And there is also some reward or some a gift or something for the best review as well. So please do give reviews. And yes.
Ma'am, I think the calendar was supposed to be shared in time earlier, right? So we haven't got the complete calendar yet.
Calendar? Yeah, I'll tell the team to share it, sir. You filled in the feedback form? The feedback form?
Yes.
Not the feedback, the forms that we have for the registration form.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll tell the... Yeah. Yes, Pooja ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it done? All the question and answer session is done, ma'am?
I've asked, I'm waiting if there are any. Most of the teachers are saying,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will end this the recording then. Just hold on.